Awesome. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for coming tonight. I have been instructed to tell you that we are having a raffle, our very first raffle at a workshop tonight. So you will see next to you there's there's paper on the chairs there with QR codes. Okay, so what we're raffling off is a free allergy assessment for me. You probably didn't know that, but I can test people for allergies to certain foods and or environmental allergies as well. And so it's a procedure, it's a technique that I learned long ago to help people get through their allergy symptoms naturally without having to go for all the shots. Okay, so that's step one. You get a free assessment from me. Second place is you're going to get a gift bag. Okay, and this is how you do it. So if you're in person, to share the live and comment on the live where you're watching us from, okay? And so if you're here, obviously you're going to put Gilead. And if you're at home, you're going to share the live and comment also where you're watching from. This gives us an idea of how far we're reaching people. So I think that's a really cool idea. So the QR code thingy looks like this. Okay, so pass it around. Tonight we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is allergies and asthma. Yep, you're going to get on the live, look at the live feed, and then you can share that and comment. Share it, say whatever you want, allergies and asthma, and then comment where you're watching it from. Okay? How many of you have never been to Gilead Healing Center? Great, 2 of you. Gabby, can you help her or no? Figure that out? Or maybe we can just wait till we're closer to the end. Gilead Healing Center is a really special, unique place. And as far as I know, probably one of a kind, really, in the country. In this space, it's beautiful space, first of all, but in this space, we have a lot of services. We have chiropractic care, we have nutrition care, which is my hat. We have massage therapy. We have Christian counselors here. We have a prayer team that comes in and will pray for people. We have infrared sauna here. We have foot detox baths here. And we have a lot of special events here. So it's a really all-inclusive for real true healing, both spiritually, physically, emotionally, and we have a lot of fun. So check out the other services if that's something that you need, because we're growing fast and we just got a lot of cool stuff, okay? So again, tonight we're talking about allergies and asthma. So why is it my favorite topic or one of my favorite topics? It's because as a kid, I had allergies and I had asthma. I had all the things. When I think I must have been around 8 years old, and I was doing a track and field day for my school. And so I was running, and I get halfway around the track, and I found myself in this position, like bent over, like, oh, I couldn't breathe. And I was terrified. I had no idea that it was the first time that had ever happened to me. And then next thing I know, my parents are coming from the bleachers to try to figure out what's wrong with me. And so my mom made me an appointment with a doctor. The doctor suggested I see an allergist and gave me an inhaler. He said, you probably have asthma. And he gave me a rescue inhaler, albuterol, and I puffed on that all the way up until I was 40 years of age. I had all the shots. I had the allergy testing with all the pokes, right? Terrible, terrible experience. Anybody else had that? It's a terrible experience, especially for a kid. Like, I couldn't lay still. I got to lay still while you're poking my back and dropping all these things on my back. It was a horrible experience. And then I had shots in each arm for weeks. I mean, both arms would just be bulging with pain and red, and I never got better. I still had allergies. It didn't help me, not one little bit, right? So I carried this inhaler with me well into adulthood, In high school, I was a dancer from the age of 3 on up. And in high school, I got involved with the Lions of Michigan band. You know, the Lions Club? They sponsored a band. I don't know if they still do, maybe. It was a really cool experience for me. And I tried out for the dance team. The very first year, I got runner up. So I got to go. I got to do the trip. There was always a trip in the summer and weekend of training and learning and conditioning. And so I got to go, but I was runner up. I mean, I couldn't do the big parade, which took a lot of energy, and because they were scared that I would have an asthma attack. I would replace somebody if they needed it. You know, if somebody got injured, they needed me to replace somebody. But otherwise, I'm just kind of dancing here and there and a standby. So that was devastating for me because I'd been dancing my whole life basically at that point. And I just remember, I remember going home and, you know, being like uber disappointed and, you know, my mom trying to console me and, you know, make it all better like moms do. But it was devastating. It was embarrassing too. Like, you can't make the team, the full team, you know. It was embarrassing and disappointing, all because of my asthma. But the second and third and fourth year that I was in that band and dancing, I made the full team. Don't know why. I guess maybe there wasn't as many people. I don't know. But I was in there, so I was happy. As an adult, I spent a couple times in the ER, not being able to breathe. As an asthmatic back then, if you leave the house and you don't have your inhaler, you need your inhaler. You need it like now. You get so married to that device, that medication, that you talk yourself right into an asthma attack. And I did that over and over again, multiple times. Anytime I got a cold or upper respiratory infection, I was wheezing and coughing and hacking. And yeah, it was, when I look back on it now, if only I had known then what I know now. So the reason I say that is to tell you that I became a respiratory therapist because of that. I became a respiratory therapist. I wanted to help people that couldn't breathe. I had empathy for people that could not breathe. So I went to school and I became a respiratory therapist. I did that for 20 years. And about 10 years in, I realized the system was broken, right? The people I was taking care of, they weren't really getting better. We were shipping them home, but they'd come right back in the same condition, if not worse, right? They'd start out with just lung disease or asthma or COPD, and then they'd have lung disease and heart disease, and so then they've got heart medication, and then the heart medication, now they have, you know, high blood pressure, and then they have diabetes because this medication gives you diabetes. And the circle goes on and on and on, right? And so that was very evident to me about halfway through my career in the hospital. And I set on this journey to find then that which I could do for my own health to not be like the people I was taking care of in the hospital. And so that journey led me here. What I will tell you is I discovered a lot about asthma and allergies after I left the hospital. Well, maybe I wasn't gone yet. I was pretty young. I kind of built my practice, and then I kind of weeded my way out of the hospital setting where I didn't need it anymore. But I will tell you, I learned more about allergies and asthma from this work that I get to do, I have the pleasure to do now, than I ever did in a hospital, ever did at respiratory school. There's a lot of things I know now that they never told me. They didn't tell me that. They just showed me how to use the medications right, how to run a ventilator right, you know, how to do CPR right. But they didn't really get to the root cause of why people have allergies and asthma. And I can safely tell you today, I don't have allergies anymore. I don't have asthma anymore. I thought it was a life sentence, right? That's what I was taught. You carry this inhaler forever. You can't be around dogs and cats because you're just going to always be snotty and itchy, right? I could be around some dogs, not all dogs, but I could not be around cats. I don't really care for cats, to be honest with you, so it was okay. But, you know, if I went somewhere and they had cats, I was all snotty. right? Having to take all the things like the Zyrtex and all the things. And so I've lived it. If you suffer, I've lived it. I totally understand what you're going through, and it's not a life sentence, okay? So let's get started. First, we need to do some defining, right? The definition of an allergy is an undigested protein. Most of you probably did not know that. Okay, so now that you know that, where do you think you need to focus your attention first if you want to have less allergies? Your digestion. Yeah, your food choices, your digestion. Most Americans today have a leaky gut. Our food quality is a disaster. I don't know if you know this. And it's getting worse by the second, literally worse by the second. The crickets are coming. The fake meat is coming. This appeal thing is coming. What else? Vaccines in our vegetables and our protein, or in our, our produce. It's coming, right? And it may take a revolution. We could probably stop it, but it's going to take a revolution, right? And I'm up for it. You guys just let me know. Push the button and I'm there, okay? I'm literally up for it because I'm sick and tired of looking and I do this all the time. I do this for my patients because they're always asking me what about this food product, that food product. So if it comes in a box with a label, I'm more apt to tell them just to stay away from it now than I am to say, yeah, go ahead and eat that, right? Even if it's simple ingredients, because I just don't know. I just don't know how it's processed. I don't know how it's grown. It can tell me it's organic. Doesn't matter. I don't really trust the FDA anymore to do right by us, because did you know that in other countries, like European countries, for instance, they don't let all this crap in their food like we do. They don't put food dyes in their food. They don't have fluoride in their water, right? It's no wonder. It's no wonder we're having health challenges, and 54% of our kids are chronically ill. Okay? So that's the first thing. Get your gut right. If you don't know how to do that, you got to ask me. You got to come and see me, and I can totally help you. Okay? An abnormal immune response. That's what it is. It's not normal for you to freak out over things, right? For your body to just freak out over things. Like for me, I was allergic to the cats and the dogs, trees, grass, dust. You can't avoid that. That's life, right? But that's what I was allergic to. And so that's why I suffered. Obviously, we all know the common symptoms: sneezing, runny nose, itchy eyes, wheezing, hives, allergies, obviously. People will say, oh, they're my spring allergies. Well, this is my fall allergy. This is my summer allergy. I'm like, when don't you have allergy? I don't know. Okay, so there we go. This is what a balanced immune system should look like, okay? Optimal effectiveness right there in the middle. An overactive immune system is like things like autoimmune problems. Those are more the internal threats, like your body is trying to attack itself, they say, right? Hashimoto's, lupus, IBS, type 1 diabetes, you name it, okay? But there's also external threats, okay? So those are things like food sensitivities, which a lot of you have, and you just have no idea. Food sensitivities come because you're eating too much crap, and you're giving yourself a leaky gut. You're getting too much glyphosate in your gut. It's a pesticide, okay? And you just don't even know it. You have no idea that you're eating it, okay? It's in all the grains, and you're eating it, and it's causing havoc in your gut. And so you have a leaky gut, and when you have a leaky gut, you become sensitive to even good foods sometimes. Some people get sensitive to eggs, or red meat or healthy fats because they just have a leaky gut, okay? External threats are, something like asthma, allergies, eczema, sinusitis. External threats, a lot of those types of symptoms can also be from parasite. I've seen a lot of people whose allergies clear up because we do a parasite cleanse and we clean up their detox pathways, and their toxins can go down and out the right way. instead of up and out through the mucous membranes or through the skin, okay? Now, an underactive immune system, I'm sorry you can't see that. I don't know why it's so dark, but on the left side it says cancer, and the other side it says infection. So like bacteria, mold, fungus, parasite, that kind of thing. So that's an underactive immune system. So we want a nice balance right in the middle. How do we do that? We can't eat sugar. That's step one. If you want a strong immune system, you cannot eat sugar. All right? That's the cakes, candies, cookies, ice cream stuff, right? You can't eat sugar. That's the bread, rice, pasta stuff, because it just all turns to sugar, right? You have to be aware of that, and I'm going to tell you that. It suppresses your immune system. Every time you eat sugar, you suppress your immune system. So if you want a strong immune system, you cannot feast on sugar or things that quickly turn to sugar. You can't. You will always be getting ill, okay? Your body will not be able to handle that. So an abnormal immune response, your body is intelligent, first of all. God made you beautifully. There's nothing wrong with your immune system. You just have to protect it and support it and feed it, okay? There's absolutely nothing wrong. He didn't make a mistake. There's nothing wrong. But we always think we've got to have something for our immune system. We've got to have the next shot or the next pill or the next this, right? That's not true. It's all a lie. It's a lie. Not many people will tell you that, but I will tell you that. It's all a lie. You're made beautifully and wonderfully. You just have to know how to nourish yourself properly so that you can have the health and the stability that you need, to not be suffering. Okay? Sometimes the body freaks out at simple things, right? Simple things, like for me, trees. I freak out with trees. It's a tree. It's a simple thing, and my body freaked out over it. I have this huge inflammatory response. I get all snotty. My dad cuts the grass. Oh Lord, he cut the grass. It's over, right? I'm laid up for a while. I can't breathe. Your body is not supposed to freak out over that. Okay. 70% of your natural immune response is in your gut microbiome. Again, the glyphosate is a pesticide. What do you think it's doing to your gut microbiome? It's destroying it bit by bit by bit, okay? You need to get some good probiotics in you. You need to eat fermented foods like sauerkraut. But you need to protect your gut microbiome, okay? So the bottom line is your body just should be able to recognize a tree and grass as not a problem, versus chemical aerosols or things like that, chemicals in the water, chemicals that would naturally make sense for your body to freak out about, correct? Yes or yes? Yeah, okay. Let's talk about seasonal allergies and nutrition, okay? So we saw, first step is to seal your gut, heal and seal your gut, okay? That's super, super important. Sometimes it takes collagen because we're very deficient in collagen, by the way. The glyphosate is also not just destroying our gut, it's also cancer causing, and it destroys our collagen. That's from the work done by a very smart woman, smarter than me. Her name is Dr. Stephanie Seneff. She's an MIT scientist, and she's been thoroughly studying glyphosate and the effects on the body, okay? We have to have an anti-inflammatory diet, okay? So stop eating all the grains and all the sugars because they're very inflammatory. Stop eating the seed oils and vegetable oils because they are very inflammatory. I'm not talking about healthy fats. I'm not talking about olive oil and butter. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the corn oils, the canola oils. I'm talking about just, the normal vegetable oil, the French fry kind of oil, right? I know you don't want to hear that, but that's very, very rancid and toxic oil for you to be eating, okay? And you don't really realize how badly you feel on that type of food until you get away from it. You have to get away from it for a certain period of time, and then because you're human, you're going to go back and eat it again, and then you're going to feel awful. That happened to me when I first started my healing journey. My husband and I loved Jets Pizza, so we would get Jets Pizza often. It was our favorite kind of pizza outside of DeLuca's, which is gone now, but I know, right? DeLuca's is amazing. It was amazing. But once I started my health journey, I jumped in with both feet and I cleaned up my diet like that. And I hadn't had Jets Pizza for probably 3 months. And then I'm human and I have a weak moment and we go to Jets Pizza and pick it up. And I was never so sick in my life. Do you know what I call that? I have a term for that now. That's my bell and whistle. Your body is designed with bells and whistles, just like your car, right? Your check engine light comes on. You're not going to put a piece of duct tape over it and just keep on rolling, are you? I mean, if you are, you probably shouldn't. It's not, but we do that so much with our health, don't we? Men are worse than women oftentimes with that. They like to poo-poo stuff and really not pay attention to their check engine lights. Okay. But when you get away from food and then you eat it again, that's your check engine light. It takes you from up here down to here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Getting enough vitamin D, getting enough omega-3 fatty acids. Okay. Very important. Those are staples. They're foundational supplements for people, especially here in the Mitten where we get very little sunshine, right? We get very little sunshine, even though we're going to put up a lot of solar panels. Somebody make that make sense, but that's for another day. Okay, we're going to spend a lot of money on solar panels, but we don't have a lot of sunshine. Whatever. Okay. You're not going to like me for this because you like your antihistamines, but you need to stop taking them. You need to find a different solution. Okay? And here's why. These meds interfere with your body's ability to accomplish what's called homeostasis. You probably don't know what that word means, but it's a normal state of being for the body. The body is always striving for homeostasis. It will triage fluids, energy, nutrients, whatever it's got to do to create the best state of being for you, or homeostasis, okay? But these products, these seasonal allergy medicines, they disrupt that ability. The body will shift fluids to certain organs to protect them, and that whole thing is disrupted. And it can also impair your immune system and can potentially lead to cancer, okay? So it's a bigger deal than what you think. Nobody ever reads the side effects on the box, do they? No, I don't know one person that has ever read the side effects on the box. You know why? Because we think because it's sold in a store to us that it's safe, right? My father thinks that about food all the time. My dad will get the absolute cheapest peanut butter, like the Save-A-Lot store peanut butter or whatever, the off-brand, because he's not paying $5 for peanut butter, right? But I show him on the label, it's not just peanuts, Dad. It's like hydrogenated oils and sugar and all these things. And he's like, oh, it's fine. It's fine, right? People don't read labels, right? On their food, on their medicines. I mean, the pharmaceutical companies can get away with giving you a commercial, warm and fuzzy commercial. I know you've seen them when you're watching TV. The people, they're frolicking in the fields. They're playing at the playground with their kids because they feel so much better. And then at the end, it's like 50 million side effects, including death sometimes, right? There's an asthma medication out there with a commercial, and one of the side effects is asthma-related death. I'm like, are you kidding me? But people will call your doctor. People will call their doctor. Maybe I need this medicine. Why? Somebody make that make sense to me. It can't possibly make sense to normal thinking people. So what's really happening to us? Is our ability to think rationally, is that diminishing too? I mean, I guess, because they're not stopping their advertising. It must be working, right? For instance, this new weight loss drugs, that they're using off-label as a weight loss drug, the Ozempics and all those. Whoa, the side effects. Paralyzed stomach and intestines. What? You got to be able to eat and digest your food. Apparently it keeps some food in your tummy for you so you don't feel hungry. Probably not a good idea. I mean, these are just common sense things. I'm sorry, I'm very common sense oriented. I know we're getting off topic, but you get what I'm saying. We have to be good stewards of our body, and that's not being a good steward of your body, okay? All right, here's some side effects of antihistamines. You guys probably know. You can get drowsy, you can get dry mouth, you can get nervousness, tremors, insomnia, confusion, all the things, urinary retention, constipated. So it's not without its problems, those drugs, okay? Okay, so this is asthma. I'm going to explain it in some layman's terms a little bit, because I can do that. My maiden name was Layman. I can do that. I'm not joking, it was. Okay, so asthma is an abnormal immune response in the lungs. It occurs when you have bronchospasm, so there's spasming in the bronchial tubes that lead to the lungs, and then your body creates more mucus because there's toxin there that the body has to get rid of, okay? The lungs will spasm because there's toxin there that does not belong, okay? Stay tuned for more on that. So the wheezing sound is the spasm. The air is trying to go through a smaller vessel. It feels like you can't get enough air in your lungs, but in actuality, you can't get the old air out to get new air in, okay? It gets trapped in there because of the spasming, because your airways get bigger as you breathe in, and they get smaller as you exhale. So, right? Makes sense? Asthma can be triggered by food, environmental toxin. It can be triggered by, smells. Some people are very sensitive to smells. You can have exercise-induced asthma. You can just forget your inhaler and have asthma, or it can just hit you out of the blue for no reason, okay? It just is, okay? And it can be due to improper detoxification through the liver, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, this is what your airway looks like. Okay, you see those tubules, the cross section there. So the one on the left is full of mucus and spasming. The bronchial wall is spasming. That's smooth muscle that it's lined with there, and it spasms. And the body creates the mucus so that you can eventually, the mucus is like a trap door. It just kind of grabs the toxin, and then you cough it up and out, right? It's a detox kind of situation. So on the right, that's what you would like your airway to always look like, okay? And I'm grateful my airways are like that now. I don't never want to go back there again, right? Okay. Chronic dehydration can affect how your lungs function. When you breathe out, you lose water, right? Your breath has vapor. That's why you take off your glasses and, clean them off. You're losing water when you're sleeping at night, when you're breathing. You're losing water through your mouth all day if you're breathing, okay? And if you don't get enough water, 80% of your body is water, right? 60 to 80% of your body is water. Your body's potentially going to protect you by spasming. If you're too dehydrated, it could cause spasms on, just the out of the blue kind that you can't even understand why it's happening. So making sure that you are not dehydrated will definitely help you. We just talked about that. All right. So back to the detox pathways. Most of us, because of our diet and lifestyle, have really mucky, I call it mucky detox pathways. The detox pathway is how you get the bad stuff out, okay? We get the bad stuff out many ways: liver, gallbladder, the the bowel, the kidneys, the lymphatic system, your skin. Okay, you can cough it up through we breathe out CO2. That's a waste product for the body. Okay, the trees need it. Don't let them freak you out. Carbon is not a problem. Stop letting them freak you out. Okay, that again, it comes down to just hello, McFly, or that movie. You exhale carbon dioxide, the trees and the plants uptake it. It's life. It's life on planet Earth. I just can't believe that we're in a time and frame where we're talking about how carbon is ruining our climate, right? It just doesn't even make logical sense to me, but here we are. Here we are. Okay. Detox pathways. What happens physiologically when your liver particularly is congested and your phase 1, phase 2 detox pathway through the liver doesn't work, okay? Phase 1 is like the trash compactor, okay? It's going to take the toxin and it's going to just compact it and get it ready for exit from the body, okay? And you got water-soluble toxins going out the kidneys and the others going out the bowel, okay? But what happens if phase 1 works really good, but phase 2 doesn't, right? Those toxins are going to get recirculated back into the bloodstream. Go. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. That's what it's going to do. Again, your body is smart. It's super duper smart. And it will protect you, including your lungs. They will protect you if they need to. And what do you think they're doing when they're spasming? They're protecting you. Those toxins do not belong in the lungs. Your lungs know this, and they're going to protect you. Right? They're going to spasm. They're going to try and keep those toxins out if they can. They're going to create more mucus for the ones that got through. Okay? And then Helena comes along with her inhaler and her nebulizer and opens your lungs right back up so the toxins can come in, right? That's what I did for 20 years. But you got to do something, right? People need help. They can't just not breathe. But we got to get to the root cause of the problem, right? That's where the true healing comes, right? These poor kids today, I just don't know. I mean, I suffered almost 40 years of my life with asthma. I'm so grateful that it wasn't a life sentence. And all because I cleaned up my diet and I cleaned up my detox pathways, right? That's what I did, okay? So stay hydrated. You can add some pink salt to your water if need be. There's good minerals in pink salt or Celtic sea salt. And your body needs minerals because we're deficient in minerals because it's not in the soil. Therefore, it's not in the plants. Therefore, it's not in us. Okay. And a lot of people don't eat their veggies anymore anyway. A lot of people don't eat good quality meat anyway. So you're really deficient in minerals. Okay. Stay away from inflammatory foods. We already talked about that. That's your sugar, your grains, your seed oils, the corn oil, the vegetable oil, all of that stuff. Canola. Add apple cider vinegar, good quality organic with the mother in it, apple cider vinegar. That's going to help you. When people are having allergies and asthma, particularly allergies, they can be a little too alkaline in their pH, and so apple cider vinegar will help balance the pH. I know you guys love to try to eat to make yourselves alkaline because somebody told you that was the best way to be. But I will tell you, your body's going to do the opposite. It's going to balance you if it can because it wants to be in a perfect pH, 735, 745, it wants to be there, okay? So you can try all you want to make things alkaline because somebody told you that's a more healthful way to be. But I will tell you, the body it will work against you, okay? Let's see. So the apple cider vinegar, it'll help you digest better. So if you take it with meals, it will help you digest. But you just a couple tablespoons or teaspoons rather in some water, just dilute it. Get it down. Don't drink it straight. Please don't drink it straight. because if you, I don't know anybody who can, but if you do and you choke, your vocal cords will spasm and it's end game. Okay, just don't do it. Don't do it that way. Dilute it in water. Start healing your gut with proper nutrition, fermented foods, and digestive enzymes. So you can break your food down properly. You may need some collagen. You may need some other things to heal your gut. But you got to start with the food, okay? Omega-3 fatty acids and getting enough vitamin D we talked about, and eating your cruciferous vegetables. Does anybody know why it's good to eat cruciferous vegetables? Do you even know what cruciferous vegetables are? That's your broccoli, your cauliflower, your Brussels sprouts, okay? They support phase 1, phase 2 detox of your liver. Makes sense, right? So if I want a good liver detox, I need to eat some of these cruciferous veggies, okay? Why was I still on there? Okay, sorry guys. Get chiropractic adjustments. Sometimes people will have subluxation in their spine, and then their brain can't communicate with their lungs properly, and they have more asthma symptoms, okay? More spasms, more wheezing. So get checked by a chiropractor if asthma is a problem for you, because that could be another missing link to your health and your ability to, do the things you want to do without carrying around an inhaler. Here's I've adjusted my food pyramid a little bit. I don't know if you can see that very well, but this is not your government's food pyramid, okay? I want you to take your government's food pyramid and turn it upside down, okay? Because theirs at the bottom is all the grains, I believe. I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I think it's all the grains. So at the bottom here, you have good fats, okay? Healthy fats. Don't be afraid of fat. Fat is satisfying. It keeps us fuller longer, and we need it. Every cell in our body needs healthy fat. Animal fat, eggs, butter, coconut oil, ghee, beef tallow. I've been starting to cook with beef tallow. Don't be scared of these fats. Dietary fats do not raise your cholesterol. Surprise! Is that a shocker? They do not. Your liver makes it, okay? Your liver makes it, and your liver's not going to make something that's bad for it. And for you, is it? That's pretty self-sabotaging, right? Why would your liver make something that's bad for you? It wouldn't. Do you know that all your hormones are made from cholesterol? All of them. And if you don't eat enough dietary fat, healthful fats, animal fats, butter, coconut oil, olive oil, your body is going to make more cholesterol to make your hormones. So if you guys want to correct your cholesterol numbers, maybe you got too high of this or too high of that, right? You got to clean up your diet. You have to eat more healthy fat to make your hormones at the very least, right? Especially if you're in a stressful situation and you're pumping out all the cortisol you can pump out, you're going to need a lot of cholesterol to keep up with that, right? A lot. So don't be afraid of healthy fats. On top of that are antioxidants, which comes from our non-starchy veggies, herbs, and low glycemic fruits. And then on top of that is clean protein. I would probably swap those two out and put the protein closer to the fat anymore, because we're all deficient in protein. None of us are getting enough protein. Good quality protein, like red meat, beef, bison, elk, venison, right? Then the chicken and the turkey and all the things. We're not eating enough of it, right? Your body needs protein to repair itself. You wonder why you're breaking down, and you got problems. You're not getting enough protein. You need to eat meat, okay? It's a superfood, right? It's a superfood. And then above that, you've got your fiber and your nuts and seeds, that kind of stuff. You've got fermented foods above that, and then natural sweeteners like stevia, raw honey, maple syrup, coconut sugar, organic sugar, okay? At the very tippy top, okay? So kind of, let this just imprint itself on your brain so that you can remember it, Okay? Flip their food pyramid upside down if you truly want to be healthy. Okay? So you really got to ask yourself, why is my body not healing, right? You have tried this medication, I've tried that medication. Why is my body not healing? Well, you have to look at your toxic load. You absolutely do. We live in a toxic soup bowl, right? Our water is toxic. Somebody posted on, I don't remember if it was Facebook or Twitter the other day. I want to say it was Facebook in the 517 Living, perhaps, Facebook page. I don't know if you guys know about that. The environmental working groups report on our water here in Lansing area. Delta, I know I've looked at Delta Township before, and it's high in radium. Off the charts high in radium. And there were like a list of 6 different chemicals in, I think, the Lansing public water that are known carcinogens, known toxins, and they're above the EPA's recommendations for drinking water. But what are they doing about it? As I'm asking myself, like, what are they doing about this? They have to know. If the environmental working group knows, they have to know, you know. And then they got the fluoride in the water for your teeth. Whoa, we fell for that. I was a Crest kid. You guys are Crest kids? I had all the Crest, and I had the trays with the fluoride and stuff, and burn your gums. I had so many cavities as a kid. Never helped me. It's because it's a neurotoxin. It literally fries your brain. Are you kidding me? It calcifies your pineal gland, and we're drinking it and bathing in it. No wonder we're having a hard time living on our planet here, people. We're on the struggle bus. So you've got to be really good at detoxing your body. You have to know how to do it, right? That's the first thing I do with people. I get their detox pathways open, and we get to start working on the detox, right? We get the toxins out, and then we start with repair. You can't, toxins block your nutrition, by the way. Like you can't out eat your toxic load. You can't. You have to supplement to get the toxins out, and then you have to supplement to repair. The long gone are the days of just living your life. Like my grandmother died when she was 96, almost 97. She lived a good long life, and she never had to worry much about her health, really. She didn't think about her health at the age of 50 like myself. She didn't. She just lived her life, right? She just had a good life. Those days are gone. But if you think about it, the majority of her life, she ate real food, right? She was born in the 20s. She ate real food the majority of her life. She didn't have McDonald's on every corner. But those days are gone. So now we have a new challenge, a new responsibility to take care of ourselves better, to put good food in the tank. Did you know that you are a Mercedes-Benz? Did you know this? You are quite literally a Mercedes-Benz. We don't even know what our full capabilities are. Do you believe that? I totally believe that. I don't think we really have a clue about our total abilities, especially mentally. I don't think we have any clue. But you're a Mercedes-Benz, right? Years ago, my oldest got married. She got married really young. She got married to a guy who needed a car, and he got I think it was tax return money, like $800 back. And he bought this used Mercedes-Benz, and it still ran. $800 all he paid for it, I think, and it still ran. And so he's all thinking he's cool because he's got a Mercedes-Benz, right? And the first time he had to put gas in it, he didn't realize he had to put premium in his car. So he put 87 octane in his car. And needless to say, he didn't drive it very much after that. He didn't have the money to repair it or whatever they do. I don't even know what they do to get that bad gas out and figure it all out. But I felt bad for him. I'm like, I didn't know either. I never drove Mercedes-Benz before, but it makes sense that you'd have to put premium in the tank. But the same is true for us, right? The same is true for us. We have to put premium in the tank. What's the premium? That. Start at the bottom and work your way up. Okay? Bye, guys. Thanks for coming. All right. Where am I? All right. Guys, we are really healthy only by design, and we're sick by default. It's our own fault. We're responsible. We just don't know what we don't know, right? That's why you're here, because you didn't know what you didn't know about allergies and asthma. But I'm here to tell you, you got a lot to learn, and we can teach you, right? That's what we do. And so keep coming to these workshops. We have them every month, various topics. Bring your friends and family. People you know need to hear these words coming out of my mouth, okay? Because we don't catch disease, we earn it. We really do earn it, you know? Less than 10% of what happens to us in our health during our lifetime even has to do with genetics, all right? They try to tell you, they try to convince you that, oh, well, your mom had heart disease, so you're going to have heart disease, or your mom had cancer, so you're going to have cancer. No, that's not true. Your diet and lifestyle take more responsibility for that than anything genetic, okay? All right. When we have allergies and asthma, it's because we have certain nutritional deficiencies in the body, and we have organs that are not working properly, right? When you're deficient in certain nutrients, that's the fuel for your organs. So obviously, you may have some organs that are not serving you well. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. So this vicious cycle happens over and over and over again. You become more deficient, you have more symptoms, your asthma happens more often, or you're more upper respiratory infections, you end up in the hospital on antibiotics, the whole cycle, and it comes faster and more severe. And it's like this downward spiral, okay? Until you just crash, right? Crash and burn. You really do have to put a halt to this. And you can put a halt to this by simply taking some action. So my goal for tonight is to bring you from awareness, which we've been doing, into action, right? Because if you don't take action with any of this information tonight, 5 years, 10 years down the road, you're going to be in the same spot, right? Yes or yes? Yeah. Have you ever done that with anything in the past? I have. Read a good book. Oh, wow, I'm going to totally implement that. No, right? I mean, seriously, I did that with the Dave Ramsey book years ago. I was going to snowball the heck out of my debt. I just knew it, right? No, didn't work. Okay? Same is true for your health. You have to take action. So awareness into action. All right. We talked about that. So the goal is, this is the halt. What I have the pleasure of doing in this office is nutrition response testing. It's really just a tool, okay? It's just a tool. It's a special type of muscle testing that allows me to identify what specific types of nutritional deficiencies you do have and what organs are being affected so that we can fix and handle it once and for all. And the good part is we don't do this with any drugs or any surgery. We do this with whole food. We do this with herbs. We do this with homeopathics, and it works. We know what to do. We know how to do it, right? You do not have to sit in your suffering, okay? We talked a lot about sugar tonight because it always all comes kind of back to sugar. But sugar, anytime you have sugar, you're causing yourself nutritional deficiencies, and therefore you're having some organs that are not going to function very well for you, okay? And the more sugar you eat, the more deficient you become, and the more organs aren't working. Do you see where I'm saying? Where I'm going with this? Right? Again, you need a halt. You need to clean it up. How do you clean up sugar addiction? You gotta get it out of the house, but you gotta eat healthy fat and protein because they're satisfying. If you eat healthy fat and good protein till you're full, that's gonna satisfy you for several hours. You probably won't even need to snack in between meals because it's satisfying. Keeps you fuller longer. You don't have an hour. You eat a big plate of pasta, you're going to be looking for food in another hour, right? It's not satisfying. You got to learn to listen to your body in that respect, because if you're eating food and you think it's good food and you're hungry an hour later, you didn't eat enough protein or healthy fat in that meal, okay? Okay, so ask yourself this question. Are allergies and asthma something that you want to handle? Right? Is it something you're done with? You're sick and tired of it, right? Like I was sick and tired of it. How is it affecting your life already? Right? I told you how it affected my life. I couldn't dance the way I wanted to dance. Certainly wasn't going to be a track star, right? In and out of the hospital for breathing treatments and steroids, upper respiratory infections, right? What's it going to be like in the future if you don't get a handle on it, right? 5 years, 10 years down the road. Regret is no good, right? We've all had regret. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. I'm here to tell you that something needs to change for you. You can't do the same thing. You can't live in the same space you got sick in if you want to be well, okay? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So something does have to change. Do you agree with me? Yeah? Okay. And you have to think about it seriously. How serious am I about handling this? Like, how dedicated am I going to be to my health? You know, there's nothing better you can put as a priority than your health, right? Steve Jobs had all the money in the world. I think he was worth 10 billion or something when he died, but he's dead. Right? He didn't have his health. None of us would want to trade places with him, I can guarantee you that, right? Investing in your health is the one thing that you will invest in that you will get a return on investment, right? I just had to buy a new car, not a new one. I bought a used car. I know that that thing is going to have problems before I can finish paying it off, right? It's not going to retain a lot of value. It's just the way it is with a car. You don't get that return on investment. You just have the privilege of driving it to work and homework, you know. But with investing in your health, especially if you're getting the right treatment, have the right person on your team to help you, then you get the return on investment, right? You get to see the fruits of your labor in a sense, okay? All right, like I said, what I do is called nutrition response testing. Again, it's just a tool. It's just a tool. There's many types of muscle testing. This is the one I happen to be trained in. It's designed clinical nutrition. What does that mean? It means it's specific to you and you and you and you and you and you and you. It's specific to you, okay? It's tailored exactly to your needs. It's not like if you go in the ER and you have heart failure and you're in room 10 and then a guy in room 12, he's there and he's got heart failure. You're both going to get the same doggone order set. It doesn't matter why you have heart failure or he has heart failure. It's called evidence-based practice. They don't even have to think about it anymore. The order set comes right up on the screen. And outside of your known drug allergies, you're going to get the same thing. You're going to get a catheter. You're going to get an EKG. You're going to get lab work. You're going to get some Lasix to pee off the extra fluid, yada, 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 right? That's what you're going to get. Completely opposite from what we do, okay? It's tailored specifically to you. What we're looking for is overall health, optimizing your health and keeping you there. I train each of my patients that this is how you take care of your health, right? You're not feeling well, you come see me first. I don't want you to end up in urgent care or worse off ER, right? That's what I teach my patients. That they know that this is where they're going to get care, and I'm going to fix whatever needs to be fixed. I'm going to give them the exact right stuff in the exact right dosage so that their body can handle it naturally, because your body can totally heal. It's just far too deficient and far too toxic, right? Safe and natural. I already told you what I use. I use whole food supplements, the best of the best. I use all the best of the best. And the body tells me exactly what it wants. I don't have to guess. There's no guessing, which is a beautiful thing, right? Any questions about that? Where did I go back to the front? Yep. Okay. Very good. So I want to just give you an option tonight to get the care that you need, okay? I'm going to give you an action step, okay? Because you're here tonight, my initial consult is greatly discounted, okay? If you take the action to just get that assessment, it's a 2-visit assessment, okay? The first is clinical. We're going to do what's called heart rate variability study, which is a study of your autonomic nervous system, but it's just telling me how overall physiologically healthy are you. You're going to get a body composition analysis so we can tell exactly where you're at with your hydration, your muscle mass, your fat mass, all the things, okay? Then I'm going to do the clinical testing, and I'm going to build a beautiful nutrition program just for you, okay, based on my findings. Then you're going to come back. I'm going to send you home with a food log because everybody has to write their food down. That's the first confront. And then you're going to come back on the next visit as soon as possible, and we're going to sit down and discuss everything that I found clinically. It's a report of findings, okay? So you have a good understanding of what it is I found, how the supplements are going to help you, how my program works, and, if you qualify for my program. And then we get started, okay? Does that sound good? Okay. So this is for you at home too. You're welcome to take this action step. In fact, it's muy importante for you to understand that you can take this action step too. So get on my schedule if you aren't already a patient. Take advantage of the savings for tonight, okay? The first visit usually takes about an hour to an hour and a half, especially if you do the paperwork ahead of time, okay? What am I missing? Heidi, am I missing anything? Okay. Very good. Okay, well, thank you for watching. If you're at home, appreciate it. Come visit us at Gilead Healing Center soon. Do you guys have any questions? No? Yes. Yeah. Well, no, you have to. Well, you can. You absolutely can. Sauerkraut, you don't need to add sugar. I don't believe. I remember I macerated it because I used to make it at home, but my kids would eat half of it before I could even get it in the jar. I'd be macerating and they'd come and just grab it. I think it's just salt and it gets juicy, and then you put it in a jar and then you have to burp it every so often. It's been years since I've done that, but so you can find things like kefir is a fermented dairy product, and you can find just the plain they don't add sugar in the plain. If it's a flavored one, they're going to add sugar. Full fat yogurt, Greek yogurt. You can have kimchi. Now kombucha is going to have sugar. So you'd have to look at they have some that has way more sugar than others. So you have to look at the label and make sure you're getting one that's lower sugar. Yeah. Yeah, you can totally do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because I think that feeds the bacteria. That I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it would work the same. I have no idea. That's a really good question. All right. Hey, it's just been an hour. I did pretty good tonight with that. Thank you for coming. I will hang out a little bit.